Hello and welcome back to Inside the Contract. We are still on season 1. This is episode 4. Today's topic is employer caused delay, proven, claiming, and surviving the 28-day rule. Reference is made to 2017 FIDIC 2017 Red Book, subclauses 8.5, 8.6, and 20.2. Okay. Many contractors believe employer-caused delays automatically give them more time. Under FIDIC 2017 and earlier versions as well, nothing is automatic. A valid delay event can still lead to zero EOT if you cannot, first, prove causation, show critical path impact, follow the 28-day rule, and provide contemporaneous records. Today, we go deeper into employer-caused delay, using reported principles, common mega project patterns, and practical delay techniques. Okay? So what exactly is employer-caused delay? I'm referring here to subclause 8.5. Under FIDIC 2017, employer responsibility delay commonly arises from events such as, first, late instructions / approvals / design information required from the employer and or the engineer. Okay, this is contract specific, whether employer or engineer. Second, late access or possession of site. Third, delays caused by authorities, including utilities, of course only where the requirements of subclause 8.6 are met. 4. Employer-supplied items delayed. 5. Unforeseeable physical conditions. 6. Exceptional events, of course dependent on the causation. 7. Delays caused by other contractors. Okay? EOT entitlement is assessed through subclause 8.5, including where delay arises from other subclause that gives EOT entitlement. Okay. The rule contractors sometimes forget. An employer delay does not automatically give you EOT. You still must, as the contractor in this case, notify under 20.2.1, prove critical path impact, submit particulars under 20.2.4, which is, submit the fully detailed claim within the required time frame. Of course, this depends on the contract's particular conditions, which may vary from contract to another. Also, you must prove employer responsibility and you must show that you mitigated the delay. Missing any part can kill the claim, okay? This is where many high-value disputes are won or lost. Procedure, proof, and records, okay? Let's look at some reported principles in some cases and how to interpret employer delay. Let's look first at cases under case law in the UK PCC. In the case, this is well-known case, Walter Lilly versus McKay. It was confirmed that strong emphasis on causation, program evidence, and records, and that concurrency treatment in England generally, I'm saying generally, not necessarily always, allows EOT even with concurrent contractor delay, although does not need precise calculation at early stages, but contemporaneous evidence and reasoned analysis matter. EOT entitlement arises when employer-caused delay affect progress. The lesson: proper records plus logic means success. Another case, UKK case, it emphasized that awareness date means when the contractor should know, not claim they knew later. Contractor responsible for demonstrating causal link. The lesson. Early awareness triggers the 28-day rule. Another case law case. This is in Singapore. Contractor notified late. Claim dismissed. Tribunal upheld strict notice requirement. Lesson. Even if delay is clearly employer caused, late notice means lost entitlement. Okay. As for the case of Gulf regional common project patterns, which mostly fall under civil law, time bars are enforced rigorously, but also demand engineer neutrality under clause 3.7. Now, whether this neutrality is actually achieved or realized or not, but nonetheless it demands it. And also demands proper delay analysis, which can be decisive. So the lesson, follow the procedure, and you can win even against employer pressure. Okay. The 28-day notice rule, which is your lifeline. Notice must, as best practice dictate, be in writing. Second, identify the delaying event. Third, reference subclause 20.2.1. Fourth, be sent within 28 days of awareness. And this is very crucial. So when does awareness occur? For example, IFC drawing due on 1st of May. Awareness date is 1st of May. Permit needed by 10th of April. Permit not delivered, awareness date is the 10th of April. Access milestone missed, awareness date is that date. Slow responses or approvals, awareness date is the expected deadline for such event. Okay. On many projects, the earliest defensible awareness date is the contractual due date for an approval, drawing, or access milestone, especially where the program and registers show the dependency clearly. Okay. So some reality on mega projects. Planning delays are known before documents arrive. So awareness is based on the contractually due date. Okay. This is something not to be taken lightly. So building the proof, the 4 pillars of employer delay. You need all 4 pillars for the engineer or the DAB to consider your claim, or your claim will be rejected. Pillar number 1, evidence of the event itself. Examples, drawing registers, approval logs, authority NOC logs, site access handover forms, meeting minutes, emails, letters, and etc. Pillar number 2, responsibility of the employer. Show why the event is employer's risk under, for example, 8.5, which is EOT entitlement. Show why the event is an employer responsibility risk under the relevant subclause. For example, access, employer supplied items, authority delays, etc. Then establish entitlement under clause or subclause 8.5. Pillar number 3, critical path impact. Using time impact analysis, windows analysis, or as planned versus as built. Of course, only when justified to use this method. Pillar number 4, quantification. For example, number of days, updated completion date, impact on intermediate milestones. Okay, these are the 4 pillars. Okay, critical path, which is the deciding factor. Employer caused delay only yields EOT if it delays the critical path. Acceptable delay analysis methods, for example, AACE and SCL protocols. Time impact analysis is commonly preferred where the baseline and updates are reliable. Windows analysis is also widely used. However, the analysis method depends on whether it is specified in your contract and what has been agreed. What the dApps look for: genuine logic links, no manipulation of relationships, consistent progress updates, no artificial float suppression. Poor scheduling means poor claim. Keep that in mind. Okay, let's come to concurrency, which is the topic mostly everyone understands. Not everyone, most everyone. If employer delay and contractor's delay overlap, when employer delay overlaps with contractor delay, the outcome depends on the contract wording, particular conditions, and governing law. FIDIC 2017 expressly flags concurrency and directs that EOT be assessed under the particular conditions or, if silent, with due regard to relevant circumstances. And this is a very wide term. In many approaches, EOT may still be granted for employer risk delay, while the recovery of prolongation cost is often more difficult where contractor delay is also operative. Okay, so if we consider the SCL protocol, the UK TCC guidance and international practice. First, justifications differ. England often grants EOT notwithstanding concurrent contractor delay. Cost is another question. The SCL protocol core principle states concurrent contractor delay should not reduce EOT due for employer delay. But this is guidance, not law. Okay. There's some examples of the concurrency from some case patterns that have been reported. Example, access late, in addition to contractor procurement late also. EOT yes, cost is questionable. Authority delay, in addition to contractor manpower shortage. In this case, partial EOT granted. Another case, employer design delay plus contractor workshop rework. Concurrency shared in this case. Concurrency does not cancel EOT, it may cancel cost. Of course, again, this depends on your contract wordings, on the governing law and the circumstances of the project and the event. There is no universal rule regarding this. Okay, so let's look at some of the mega project case studies or case patterns that have been reported. These patterns I'm referring to here arise on mega projects, and outcomes typically turn on notice, timing, program credibility, and records. Let's look at the first case, some major project here in the GCC area. Late interface handover. Employer delayed utility corridor by 6 weeks. Contractor notified within 3 days. Performed time impact analysis. Engineer initially resisted. However, later it was awarded. Full EOT and partial prolongation costs. Another case in GCC area, slow design approvals. Design comments returned after 45 days instead of 14. Contractor issued rolling notices. The time impact analysis showed slippage on critical path. Full EOT granted. Cost partially granted, due to concurrency. Case 3, some major project here in the Gulf area, which is regarding authority permit delays. Multiple government approvals delayed. Contractor issued chain notices plus evidence logs. The engineer could not defend the delays because it was very obvious. EOT granted across several packages of that project. Another case, which is a major airport case here in the Gulf region. Late employer supplied equipment. Some equipment to be delivered by the employer were delivered late. Contractors' records were complete and documented the case, but contractor program was outdated by 2 months. The claim was rejected. The lesson: worst thing you can do is to have a sloppy schedule with poor updates or non-existent updates. Again, this is very crucial. So what are the best practices for contractors? First, issue early and unambiguously written notices. Use a delay event register. Maintain accurate weekly program updates. Link approvals to program activities. Periodic time impact analysis and update-based analysis to make sure your schedule measures up. Escalate when engineer delays determination. Keep authority logs precise. Validate all delays with written evidence. And finally, train your site team on what counts as awareness in terms of the awareness date that it triggered the count of the notice duration. Okay, so delay is not enough. You must prove the delay, link the delay, and notify the delay. Okay, so just to close, employer caused delay is often real, but entitlement is earned through discipline, not assumptions. Master the procedure, build strong records, and maintain a clean program, and you can survive even with the strictest engineers and DAPs. Okay? This is my message here. Okay, by this we come to the conclusion of episode 4. I would like to thank you again for watching. And in episode 5, next, we move to the art of writing contractual letters, which is the backbone of all communication under FIDIC. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Thank you.